This year, I was really impressed yesterday with the caliber of startups that were part of the BigBooster program. I was a mentor for BigBooster last year, and I think the level of maturity of startups this year was significantly higher. I mean, I was absolutely impressed. You know, we had startups who raised over $5 million in the class that came here to Boston. You know, some of the startups have customers that are some of the biggest brands in France, and it's also good to see that it's a collection of startups that's not only based in Lyon, but now you started to accumulate startups from around France. But it's really an impressive class that was brought here. So 20 startups that are really great. So one of the things that I thought was really amazing was to see the breadth of startups that were present. I mean, whereas last year most of the startups were from Lyon, this year you had startups from Africa, you had startups from Belgium, you had startups from other countries in Europe. So a very broad selection, and it just shows, I think, how BigBooster has grown in terms of an organization. You know, the impact and the reach that it has, where you can now be in Canada and all these other countries and source startups from all over the world, not be restricted to the Lyon region anymore. So really impressive. I mean, the caliber of the startups, the breadth of the startups, and you know, founders who are not only going after the French market, but they're trying to, you know, go after the African market. For example, the guy from Senegal, you're trying to go after, coming after the US market, which is one of the reasons also for being here in Boston, to establish relationships with companies here. It's literally become a global organization at this point, I think, and that's probably the thing that most impressed me. From one year to the other was impressive. I was a mentor for a few of the startups, and it's you know, for me the biggest thing that I was trying to bring to them is how do you expand internationally. So what are your current expansion plans, and how do you make them into even something that's even bigger, whether it's in the US or somewhere else. But generally, you know, having a world impact, which again is very much aligned with what BigBooster tries to be now. And here in the United States, we're all about numbers. We're all about you know, impact in terms of revenue, impact in terms of customers, impact in terms of you know, employees, and all those numbers for us are really important. And I was trying to bring that kind of a thinking to the French startups and to the international startups that are part of BigBooster, and make them think in terms of their impact on a global scale.